Thank you very much. Then with that, I will call to order this meeting of the Sacramento
in progress.
Sacramento Air Quality Management District Board of Directors. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Director Aquino?
Here.
Director Daniels? Director Daniels, I think you're muted.
Just give me a
Okay. Our chair is coming in right now too.
Okay.
Director Desmond?
Here.
Director Frost?
Here.
Chair Guerra?
Here.
Director Harris?
Here.
Director Kennedy?
Here.
Director Laloe? Director Natoli? Director Papineau?
Here.
Director Serna? Director Singh Allen? Director Terry?
Here.
Director Vang?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Well, thank you, Mr. Vice Chair, for getting our meeting started. I've got some connection issues here, so let's just go ahead and get started. I apologize if I jump off here. Did we already do the Pledge of Allegiance?
No, we have not.
All right. Now that we've got a quorum, let's all join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Stand, find a flag, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Do you mind reading the announcement for the meeting?
In compliance with directives of the State and Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the physical location of this meeting is closed to the public, consistent with state and local officials' recommendations to promote social distancing and Assembly Bill 361. Members of the public are encouraged to participate in the meeting by observing the meeting in real time at metro14live.saccounty.gov, Zoom video conference line, and by submitting written comments electronically by email at boardclerk@airquality.org. Comments submitted in person will be delivered to the Board of Directors by staff. Public comments regarding matters under the jurisdiction of the Board of Directors will be acknowledged by the chairperson and accepted until the adjournment of the meeting, distributed to the Board of Directors, and included in the record. This meeting of the Sacramento Metropolitan Air Quality Management District is cablecast live without interruption on Metro Cable 14, the local government affairs channel on Comcast Consolidated Communications and AT&T Uverse cable system. This meeting is being closed captioned and will be webcast at metro14live.saccounty.gov. Today's meeting will be repeated on Sunday, August 28th, 2022 at 3 p.m. on Channel 14.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. We've got a short APCO report today and then 3 discussion items to get through. So that we have to inform the board about. So let's go ahead and start off, Madam Clerk, with the first item here, which is our consent calendar. Is there any comment or public on the consent calendar, Madam Clerk?
No, Chair, there's not.
Very good. Thank you very much. And let me bring this back to the board. Can I get an action from the board on the consent calendar?
Kennedy moves.
Frost.
Second, Terry.
Very good. It's been moved by Kennedy, seconded by Frost. Sorry, Mayor Terry, they beat you to it.
No problem.
Any further discussion? Seeing no hands from the board, Madam Clerk, if you could please call the roll on the consent calendar.
Director Aquino?
Yes.
Director Daniels? Director Desmond?
Aye.
Director Frost?
Aye.
Director Guerra?
Get an eye, and I saw a thumbs up from Director Daniels.
Okay, thank you. Director Harris?
Aye.
Director Kennedy?
Aye.
Director Laloe? Director Natoli? Director Papineau?
Aye.
Director Serna? Director Singh Allen? Director Terry?
Aye.
Director Vang?
Yes.
The consent item passes.
Very good. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Let's move on to our next item on the agenda.
The next item is the Air Pollution Control Officer report, and I have Alberto Ayala on the call to give his presentation.
Thank you, Selena. Good morning, board members. Just have a few things for you to consider. Let's see. Go ahead and move to the next slide. I want to report to the board and share the success that we continue to have with our one of our key equity and mobility programs, a Clean Cars for All program. To date, we have close to 700 awards. And as you can see here, every dot on the map is essentially the address for one of our recipients. And we're very proud of the program. This is a great success, so much so that Mr. Lemus and his group are trying to procure additional funding so that we can continue to help our income eligible residents access these clean vehicles. And you can see that most of the vehicles that are getting purchased by our participants are either full electric vehicles, full battery electric, or the plug-in hybrid electric version of it. So again, this is great success. We will continue to share with you. We will continue to ask you to help us promote it. And I have full confidence that with your support, we stand to access probably north of $10 additional million so that we can continue to help our residents in this transition to electric mobility. Next slide, please. And this is just an acknowledgement. I wanna openly acknowledge Director Vang, Vice Chair Kennedy, and Director Aquino for coming along with us in this technology showcase trip. We had a very successful outing to Lancaster and had a good visit with BYD and the Antelope Valley Transit Authority. So just wanted to acknowledge your participation and support. We're going to try to do more of these, so stay tuned. You'll have opportunities to accompany us and go check out different technologies as we create these engagement opportunities. Next slide. And then the last thing I want to share with you, I want to acknowledge also Director Papineau, Council Member Lozano from GALT, as well as Director Natoli. They pointed us in the direction of the Galt Arno Cemetery, and we recently went out and had a good visit with the district manager, Ms. Ellis. And the topic is the same thing. We are going to be explicitly reaching out to Galt Arno and also the other 3 remaining cemeteries in our district, in the county, and try to figure out how do we help these folks make the transition to electric equipment. There are some opportunities. At the moment, the state guidelines for the funding that we have is somewhat restrictive, but we are pushing for more flexibility, and I think things are going to happen in a good way. And we want to develop a strategy that helps not only this particular cemetery, but also the other 3 in the county, so that we have an integrated strategy for transitioning equipment. And it's interesting, we had one of the vendors, Greenworks, there with us, and they're ready to go. They have the technology. The crew that maintains the grounds really like the technology. So it's just a matter of connecting the dots, and for us to identify the right funding and also the potential opportunities, including our friends at SMUD, who obviously provide the power for the cemetery there. So anyways, just wanted to share these good news. That is the APCO report. I'd be happy to take any questions from the board. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ayala. First, I want to thank the board members who were able to make it out. Unfortunately, I had a personal matter that had to cancel my trip the night before. But I think this kind of support from the board, and then getting to see where other successes in the state are, and how we could benefit from becoming a manufacturer of these technologies, I think is a strong one. And also, our special districts in the area, I think it's a good place for us to continue to look at electrification. Any hands? I don't see any hands raised, Madam Clerk, from the board members of the board. Well, I see Director Vang. Thank you.
Thanks, Chair Guerra. Just really wanted to take this moment to say thank you to Dr. Ayala and just all of our staff. Just want to give a shout out to the Clean Car for All program. It's an incredible program and just really honored that actually, I think last month we just did a live chat just with our residents as well and teaching them how they can apply. You know, it's so important that as we're gearing up our region to ensure that we're moving forward in terms of clean energy and electrification, that we don't leave our most vulnerable and our underserved communities behind. So really just want to take this moment to center Dr. Ayala and all of our incredible staff for doing the great work. Jaime as well, just thank you so much for your heart and your hustle. Also, it was a blast traveling to Lancaster with Supervisor Patrick Kennedy and the team and visiting BYD and really just learning about best practices. And it was a great opportunity and really looking forward to learning about best practices throughout our state and across the U.S. to make sure that California, that we're ready to go. So again, thank you so much, Dr. Ayala, just for your leadership.
Great. Thank you, Director Vang. See other members of the board? Seeing none. Let's move on, Madam Clerk. I again want to thank Dr. Ayala for your report. Madam Clerk, well, let's go on to our discussion calendar.
Item number 7 on the discussion calendar, update on Sacramento County's federal annual air monitoring network plan and local monitoring initiatives. And I have Stephen DeAndrea on the line to give a presentation.
Well, good morning, Stephen. This is one that we've been expanding, and I think Sacramento now has one of the most extensive air quality monitoring systems, networks, and looking forward to the presentation. Go ahead, Stephen.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, Chair Guerra and board members. My name is Stephen Dendrea. Pardon me. I am the district statistician in the program coordination division. Today, I'd just like to provide an update on Sacramento County's federal annual air monitoring network plan and local monitoring initiatives at the district. Next slide, please. So as part of the Clean Air Act amendments of way back in 1990, each state in the US is required to establish a network of air monitoring stations to monitor criteria pollutant concentrations. So the 6 criteria pollutants are ozone, particulate matter, nitrogen dioxide, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, and lead. The US Environmental Protection Agency, or the EPA, has defined stringent rules for these stations. So this includes the location of the station, the equipment type, quality assurance criteria, and quarterly reporting of concentrations. Next slide, please. These requirements are enforced through several mechanisms, one of which is the documentation of the establishment and the maintenance of an air quality surveillance system, or our network. The requirements of this plan include many details of the monitoring network, and some of these are listed on this slide, such as monitor location, the number of sites, explicit details of each site, and any network modifications. So the figure on the right shows the locations of the 6 district air monitoring stations. And note on here that the T Street station, indicated with the gray icon, is operated by the California Air Resources Board. Next slide, please. As the data obtained from air monitoring stations are used for comparison with the National Ambient Air Quality Standards, or NAAQS as they're referred to, it is critical that each federal air monitoring station and associated equipment are carefully maintained. This is to ensure that the data used to determine attainment and compliance of the NAAQS are of the highest quality and are standardized across the nation. So these stations are a necessary responsibility to ensure other air quality management work can be completed as detailed and as accurately as possible. This work can include establishing state implementation plans, rule development, pollutant forecasting, and tracking historical trends. So because of the strict federal requirements on air monitoring stations, a network of a few sites in a region remain highly resource intensive, but integral in maintaining confidence in that air quality data, especially for policymaking. Failure to achieve the health standards impacts first and foremost public health, but also impacts meeting federal transportation conformity, which also ensures that federal transportation funding continues to be eligible for the region. Next slide, please. However, not all air monitoring objectives and goals require the type of rigor that's outlined in the federal regulations. Additional local air monitoring projects and networks within Sacramento County continue to complement information collected by our regional federal network. These projects improve strategy development as well as improve overall public health by advancing the understanding of air pollution behaviors, especially at the community level. This diagram highlights several of the air monitoring efforts that are led by the district, local jurisdictions, agencies, academia, and community groups, which, like I mentioned, complement the federal air monitoring requirements. In general, the goals of these projects are directed toward a better understanding of community-level air pollution in the hopes to explore innovative new ways to reduce exposure throughout our communities. Next slide, please. This additional data serves an important role in complementing the regulatory air monitoring data from the established district network. So smaller sensors, such as the district operated ones shown in the two photos on the left of this slide, do not provide the data quality and reliability of the district regular sensors, but can provide high resolution, near real-time air pollutant data within our communities. So an example of this is shown in the bottom left. This is a screenshot from the EPA Air Now Fire and Smoke Map, which shows fine particulate matter, or PM2.5, concentrations in near real time. Data such as this can provide timely information, ideal for public awareness and notifications during events, especially during wildfire season. The district operates a variety of sensors as well, where the photo in the middle and the right of the slide are of a trailer and a shelter which house various complexity of sensors designed to sample multiple pollutants within the South Sacramento Florin community. These sensors all can have important roles within the district air monitoring network, with the understanding that they each have their own specific pros and cons. So what this really means practically is that the district is making it a priority to leverage the information from our entire air monitoring network to better understand and find ways to improve the air quality within our communities. Next slide, please. This plot is from a presentation given by the district to the steering committee of the Community Air Protection Program. This shows PM2.5 concentrations spanning over 2 years from the priority areas within the South Sacramento Florin community, as well as a sensor located at the established Del Paso Manor Station in the Arden Arcade community. This preliminary data shows that, at least for fine particulate matter, concentrations sampled in South Sacramento Florin are comparable and follow similar regional trends to those sampled by the Del Paso Manor Station nearly 10 miles away. This can be seen by the concentrations trending up and down with each other. Next slide, please. The district is currently working on other air monitoring related projects. The district is required to submit an assessment of the air monitoring network every 5 years to determine if the network meets the monitoring objectives as defined in the federal regulations. This includes assessing district objectives, population changes, air pollution trends, monitor redundancy, and other factors. This 5-year network assessment is currently being worked on by district staff and will be submitted in the coming months. However, it does not mean that the district network is set in stone and will remain unchanged for the next 5 years. The district is continuously trying to improve the network and for efficiency and monitoring effectiveness. Also, in the fall or winter of this year, the mobile air monitoring laboratory will be operational in the South Sacramento Florin community. Further air monitoring data is still needed to understand and characterize the air quality in this community on a more local level. It is also important to highlight that the district is proactively creating and maintaining partnerships throughout the county and elsewhere. With all the projects mentioned previously, we continue to be engaged with communities, local groups, agencies, and organizations to better serve our communities through an increased understanding of air quality. So with that, I thank you all for your attention, and myself and our team would be more than happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much, Stephen. I appreciate that. Part of our role here in the Air District is to adhere to the federal requirements, and I do think that we've gone above and beyond on the federal standard just because we are impacted. I think our next item that we'll be discussing will about the impacts of the Sacramento region from smoke and fire will remind us of that. But let me bring this, Madam Clerk. Do we have members of the public signed up to speak?
No, Chair, we do not.
Very good. Let me bring this back to the board here for questions or comments from the board on our air quality monitoring network. Seeing none, I do encourage you. I want to thank Board Member Aquino for her community efforts to show the community what an air monitor is, and even in the area of Folsom, and if others are interested in continuing to do that and educate folks, let's continue those efforts. So, Madam Clerk, we'll move on to the next item.
Item number 8 on the discussion calendar, Sac Metro Air District burning programs, and I have Angela Thompson on the line to give a presentation.
Good morning, Chair Guerra and members of the board. We'll just wait for that presentation to come up. So my name is Angela Thompson. I'm the program manager of the compliance section. And today I'm here to present to you about the different burning programs at the district. Next slide, please. The burning programs I will review with you today are broken up into 4 categories: open burning, recreational burning, check before you burn, and agricultural burning, which will also include prescribed burning and all of our regional coordinated efforts on smoke management. Next slide, please. So before I go into each burning program, I want to remind everyone why burning matters. As Californians, we have been living through year after year of historic wildfires. Living with extended periods of smoke has dramatically increased our public awareness on the smoke, the impact that smoke has on our health. Next slide, please. What makes smoke so harmful is the particle pollution, specifically fine particle matter, known as PM 2.5. Exposure to PM 2.5 causes premature death and has many other adverse health effects, ranging from aggravating asthma and chronic bronchitis to heart disease and stroke. Additionally, exposure to smoke degrades our residents' quality of life. Whether it is a widespread smoke event, like in the last slide, or being unable to take your children outside to play, or having to move inside because your neighbors are burning in their backyard. Our day-to-day plans can be derailed because of potential exposure to smoke. As you all know, and I have presented to you at various times, our burning programs come largely unfunded. Despite this fact, the district continues to prioritize these programs and continues to ask the board to support us in running our burning programs because they are important to the health and comfort of our residents. Next slide, please. So here you can see the data that we see that tells us how important smoke and burning are to our residents. This is a chart of the different types of complaints the district has received over the last 3 years. As you can see, burning complaints make up 45% of our complaints, compared to 28% from odor and 27% from all other. So on average, we receive about 700 complaints a year. So we're talking more than 300 complaints a year about smoke and burning. Next slide, please. So now I'll move into the different types of burning programs. The first one will be open burning. So open burning is also known as rural yard burning, and this is a way residents in the rural areas of Sacramento County can burn organic waste that's generated on their property. The map on the slide shows the area where open burning is prohibited and roughly where open burning is allowed. So many people are surprised to know that this is still legal in Sacramento County, but it's only legal in the southern portion of the county, which is south of Elk Grove Boulevard to Calvine. And you cannot burn in the cities and communities such as Elk Grove or Galt or Herald. So residents of these rural unincorporated areas can only open burn if they obtain a permit from their local fire department. And fire department permits require residents to check whether it is a burn day before they conduct the burn. Permit holders call the district burn line or they're emailed the daily burn day status. And burn day status is determined by our staff based on the forecasted air quality and other safety factors such as high winds or a red flag warning. Next slide, please. So the next category of burning is recreational burning. And this is burning that occurs in outdoor appliances or fire pits, and it's for enjoyment or for recreating. And there are prohibitions on what is burned, so you cannot recreationally burn garbage. But besides that, recreational fires are largely unregulated. So only during the district's check before you burn season, which I'll touch on next, is recreational burning subject to restrictions. Do note that food preparation, such as barbecuing or smoking food, is allowed, and it's not regulated by any of our burning programs. It is important to know that recreational burning and even food preparation still cause public complaints. And it's not easy, or sometimes it's even impossible for our staff to distinguish between the different types of burning that occurs at homes. Next slide, please. So now we'll move on to Check Before You Burn. And Check Before You Burn is our most recognized public burning program. This innovative and successful program began in 2007 to reduce wood smoke. And as you can see from the chart, at the time, it was identified that 60% of our winter emissions were due to wood smoke. And Check Before You Burn requires residents to check that it is legal to burn before lighting a fire. Because of this program and the public's awareness of this program, our largest source of complaints in the winter is from residents informing us of their neighbors not checking before they burn. So while it is a very, very successful program for our staff, and it's increased the amount of complaints we get, and it's been very resource intensive. Next slide. I'll take this time to remind the board, especially our new members, how Check Before You Burn works. During the months of November through February, residents must check before they burn. They can check the burn day status using our Sacramento Regional Air Quality app, visit our website, follow us on Twitter, or call the Check Before You Burn phone line. Based on the air quality, residents are advised to burn cleanly or discouraged to burn. And as our air quality approaches unhealthy, we call a stage 1 no burn day, which only allows burning with inserts or pellet stoves. And we call a stage 2 no burning day when air quality is forecasted to be unhealthy. Next slide. So before I get into our final burning program, which is agricultural burning, I want to talk about how burning in our air basin is coordinated. Sacramento County is part of the Sacramento Valley Air Basin. The Sacramento Valley Basin-Wide Air Pollution Control Council, or BCC, coordinates the burning of biomass in our air basin. The BCC consists of 9 air districts and 11 counties and covers 216 square miles. The BCC has a representative from each county board, and our BCC representative is Director Natoli. One of the things that will be brought to this board in the near future will be to identify a replacement for Director Natoli on the BCC. So the BCC is supported by the Technical Advisory Committee, or the TAC, and that consists of the district's air pollution control officers. The BCC and the TAC together create and administer the basin-wide smoke management plan. Next slide, please. The smoke management plan tells us and other districts in the basin when to allow burning, limits rice straw burning, and dictates acreage per district. This is a complicated and coordinated effort that also includes CARB staff, meteorologists, and district staff looking at basin-wide conditions and our local conditions. The most intensive coordination occurs during fall burn, which is September through November, when most agricultural burning occurs. While Sacramento County has agricultural burning, compared to the other districts in our basin, we have the lowest amount of acres allocated and the least amount of agricultural burning. Next slide, please. Okay, so moving on to agricultural burning. If you recall, last year was the first year the district began to implement the agricultural burning. It was previously contracted out to the Ag Commissioner's Office. In this program, we issue burn permits, we do daily burn day status, and approve requests to burn. We also conduct inspections and respond to complaints about agricultural burning. So tying it all together, agricultural burning is a region-wide effort that's governed by CARB's regulations and our local smoke management plan. Next slide. So an important subset of agricultural burning is what we call prescribed burning. Prescribed fires are a tool for land managers to reduce fuel. Thankfully, Sacramento County is not as prone to mega fires like some of our heavily forested neighboring counties, but nonetheless, we still have a lot of grasslands and woodlands that require management. So we do have prescribed fires in our county, typically 10 to 15 per year. In our region, many of our prescribed fires are actually used as training opportunities by fire departments. So as you are all aware, increasing prescribed burning is a priority in California to help reduce wildfire risk. And contrary to popular belief, air agencies are not in opposition of prescribed burning. We just want it to occur in an orderly program and take into consideration local impacts and local conditions. So at the district, we support efforts to reduce wildfire risk using prescribed fire, and we've worked with our local fire departments to streamline our prescribed fire burning programs to facilitate burning. And we've also increased our training, and we continue to stay connected to the statewide effort to increase prescribed burning. Next slide. So that wraps up my summary of all of the different district burning programs. And as you hopefully conclude, these programs are important for our residents. As you can see from this graph, these programs are vastly underfunded. However, we continue to prioritize these programs and look at ways to cut costs and streamline our operations using technology and strategy. But a long-term solution is still needed, whether it is to identify a funding source or consider changing our burning regulations. In closing, as we look at strategy for district-wide cost recovery, we'll keep you informed and look to you for direction on the future of our burning programs. That concludes my presentation. Last slide, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Angela. I appreciate that. Let me bring this over. Madam, first, let me start off with if there's comments from the public on this item. Madam Clerk, do we have any comments from the public on this item?
No, not from the public.
Great, thank you very much. Let me bring this over to the board. Board Member Kennedy here, Vice Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Angela, for that report. I guess I have a question about the open burning. And, can you put it in context of, how impactful this is to our air quality? I mean, is it such a minute issue that we shouldn't be concerned about it, or is it something that we should be concerned about? And that's question number one. Part B is, I understand what the role of the air district is in regulating it, but what's, as far as the legality of it in the unincorporated part of the county, is that something that the Board of Supervisors can regulate, or is that purely an air district function?
That's a really good question. So let me take the first one first. I didn't include emission data in this presentation to try to keep it short. So I'm happy to follow up with, we're happy to follow up with detailed emission data, but generally speaking, the impact is not huge. And it's also probably would be estimated at a rough level, right? Because there's all these different types of burning. So our perspective is that the impact is really for residents. It's very much complaint driven and impacts people in their homes. So that's where we always put why we put to that. For the second question, you asked the legality of it. So we have a rule that we have had adopted, I think, from the 90s that allows burning only south in very specific areas. It's rather complicated. That map was a rough map to help you guys just picture it, but it's not allowed like in Locke or Harold or any kind of community. I don't, and I'm happy to defer to Dr. Ayala if he has more to add, but I don't think there's anything that says that only we can regulate it. I think though a lot of air districts prohibit that type of burning, if that makes sense, but we just have a rule that allows some of it in certain areas. So,
Dr. Ayala, I'd be interested in your perspective.
Yeah, I can certainly add on both, and thank you for the questions. On the second point, this is something that I do want to work with the staff and the board to look at, because, I mean, from my perspective, we got this very clunky setup where, as you see in the map, the top half of the county, you can't do this, and the bottom half you do. Clearly, and this is not news to you, there is definitely a trend in California to ban all agricultural burning. I mean, whether you like it or not, if they can make it happen in San Joaquin Valley, it's just going to spread throughout the state. So this is something that we're going to have to look into. And as Angela said, we'll bring back to the board some information on that. And I also want to comment on the first question, because maybe balance the response from Ms. Thompson. Vice Chair Kennedy, you will never hear an air quality regulator say that burning is okay. All right. Now, Ms. Thompson is correct. We may not have a huge contribution to our ambient particle pollution levels, but let me remind you, exposure is a big issue. Okay. That's why we don't tell people they should smoke, because that is the same particle that is creating adverse health effects. So just wanted to put that in context. Thank you.
Well, yeah, I mean, I say that because you have brought up in the past that if we're going to get to our attainment, we've already done a lot of the easy stuff, frankly. And now we're going to have to nibble around the edges to get to where we want to get. And I just wondered if this is something we should look at.
Well, and I appreciate the point, Vice Chair Kennedy, and let me remind you as well. The standards are likely going to be revised and be made more stringent. So to your point, yes, the low-hanging fruit is gone. Yeah. We're going to need to put on our thinking hats, be creative, and it's only going to get tougher because we're likely going to be required to consider lower and lower levels.
Okay. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Vice Chair Kennedy. Are there other questions of the board? I think I see Board Member Terry is unmuted here.
Yeah, I just had a question, and this may even be for one of the county supervisors. In that area that's allowed to burn, and you have to have a permit, are there still properties in the rural parts of the county that don't have to have residential garbage pickup? Is the primary way to dispose of garbage in some parts of the county still burning it? And is that, I guess my question back to Supervisor Kennedy's question was, is this something the county could weigh in on? Is it something that the county can mandate that you can no longer burn your trash? I know the U.S. Conference of Mayors and other ones, they've been debating this a lot because in like Hawaii, they want to make that the primary source of power, right? Is to burn trash and to not have waste. But in their mind, burning trash is eliminating waste, but you're also creating greenhouse gas and emissions. So I guess my question back to supervisors, is that something that can be tackled, and is there a way for the Air District to assist with that?
Well, let me bring this first back to staff here, and because I think they can lend the some support here. Ms. Thompson.
Yeah, thank you, Chair Guerra. Just to clear it up, you can't burn trash. That's not allowed in Sacramento County. You can burn the organic waste that's generated on your property. And I don't want to say I'm 100% sure, but we have looked into this in the past, and I believe at all addresses in the county have access to waste providers, like Republic.
Right. Thank you.
If they have pickup available.
Correct. Good. I don't know if there's anything necessary for our Board of Supervisors to add to this, but I think that was pretty.
Nope, that answered it. Thank you.
Good. Other questions from the board here? Good. Well, I appreciate that. I know that there's been efforts to use other tools to manage the grass and potential fuel. Obviously, goats have been a common one. Go for the goats is a big one. But at the same time, I think we've got a balance here to figure out and how to transition out. So, looks like we may have a fire alarm here. So, Mr. Vice Chair, you may have to take over here.
There has been a fire emergency.
Madam Clerk, if we can move on here, and I'll pass this over.
All right, thank you. So the next item on the discussion calendar, item number 8, supplemental environmental projects, and I have Ashley Reynolds on the line to give this presentation.
Well, good morning, members of the board and Chair Guerra when he comes back. My name is Ashley Reynolds, and I'm a program supervisor in our Stationary Source Division, overseeing enforcement activities at the district. Last year, we introduced our Supplemental Environmental Projects Program, or SEPs, as I'll refer to them today. To recap, SEPs are projects that come about during the enforcement of air quality regulations. SEPs allow violators to offset a portion of their penalty by funding an environmental project. Today, I'll be providing an update on where we're at with this program. Next slide, please. The big picture is that SEPs are important to us because of the role they play in equity. As you are aware, the district has been incorporating a focus on equity in all programs. The intention is to effect change to ensure all programs are more accessible and impactful to our communities as much as possible. The district SEP program is unique compared to other similar programs because it requires penalties to go into our overburdened communities. This program is part of our action in solidarity and advocacy to embed environmental and social justice into our programs to address inequity in our region. Next slide, please. SEPs are part of a huge wave of change at all levels of government to incorporate equity into environmental programs and reinvest in historically overlooked and overburdened communities. For instance, the EPA and the Department of Justice revived the use of sex as a tool to settle enforcement actions after they were phased out during the last administration. At the state level, CARB has transitioned its SEP program to fund community projects throughout the state in certain underserved communities. Locally, we are happy to report that the district is well ahead of this progressive curve with the SEP program efforts we have made this past year. However, there are other statewide actions that could have a significant impact on our programs. At the last board meeting, Dr. Ayala spoke to you about a particular bill, AB 2910. While negotiations are still ongoing at the Capitol, local air districts, including Sac Metro, will likely oppose this bill because of language that would, one, set an unwanted precedent by reducing local air districts' discretion in managing their budgets and reducing your control during the budget process. Two, significantly reduce available funds currently used for essential enforcement programs like public complaints, asbestos, and our underfunded burning programs. And three, take away one of the most beneficial aspects of our SEP program by reducing our flexibility to fund projects in overburdened areas that could benefit from the most. We will continue to monitor this bill and apprise the board if any additional action is needed. Next slide, please. Now, in the next couple of slides, I'd like to share some highlights of our SEP program and working projects. As mentioned, our overall goal with this program is to have air quality violation penalties invested back into our communities. Our intent was to address inequity and prioritize projects in our communities that are generally been overlooked and overburdened. Overall, we had a successful solicitation and had 14 eligible projects submitted from nonprofits and community organizations. Project proposals included community transportation programs, air filter building events, cool pavements, greening urban spaces, increasing air monitoring networks, and repurposing removed trees. The complete list of projects is available on our website. On the next slides, I'll highlight the 2 projects that are currently funded. Next slide, please. The first project is with Midtown Association. Midtown Association is a PBID whose mission is to make Midtown the center for culture, creativity, and vibrancy in Sacramento's urban core. They received $85,000 in project funding and are reducing their carbon footprint by purchasing 2 electrical vehicles, a solar power generator, and converting 53 high-pressure sodium streetlights to LED. They are also partnering with SMUD in the streetlight conversion. Next slide, please. The second project is with 350 Sacramento. 350 Sacramento focuses on reducing greenhouse gas emissions and air pollution in the Sacramento region. They received $56,900 in project funding. Their project is to provide educational materials and host air filter construction events in North and South Sacramento low-income communities. The Air Filters Workshop School is to help 600 families in our region protect themselves against wildfire smoke and other pollution. We will hear more from these projects from Midtown Association and 350 Sacramento at the end of this presentation. Next slide, please. During the first year of implementing a more community project-focused program, there are 4 challenges we want to highlight. The first challenge is that this program is resource intensive and adding the community process takes more time and staff resources. Currently, our leadership team has mainly been absorbing the additional workload while staff has been brought in with for specific tasks. This method isn't very sustainable and it does restrict our community engagement efforts. Next, the funding for this program is not consistent since it's dependent on violation penalties and the violator being willing to participate. That makes it difficult to have a sustainable program and engage potential applicants because it is unknown if or when they'll receive funding and how much funding they will get. Third, we do not have enough staff to implement and maintain a new program with a high level of community engagement on top of maintaining our core duties. As mentioned previously, we were not able to hire additional staff to accommodate this workload. Lastly, with all the different parties involved and additional staffs, it takes longer to resolve violations and as a result, just increases workload. Now, I would like to talk about the next steps in this program. Next slide, please. Moving forward, we believe that we are headed in the right direction. We'll continue doing steps and tie them into the big picture of tools to offer communities, but we have improvements to make. For the next round, we are looking at ways to streamline the process. We will allow solicitations to be submitted year-round, increasing access and flexibility for potential applicants. We'll continue to work on our marketing and promotion of the program, not only for new projects, but also during the settlement process to encourage more cases to participate in a SEP. We are also looking at rebranding the public-facing portion of the program to be more identifiable within our communities. Lastly, we are continuing to look for more resources to run this program. We've been leveraging existing outreach efforts at the district by collaborating internally and externally, and we'll have a new college intern starting this fall to work on this program. Overall, we do believe the changes we have implemented into our SET program are progressive and move the needle in the right direction toward equity and inclusion. Next slide, please. One of our biggest challenges is getting the word out there. We need help in promoting the program and highlighting that these great projects are happening. We ask you to help us spread the word by retweeting a post or sharing with your network as updates pop up. And now with that, I'll turn this over to Emily Bay Michaels with Midtown Association to speak more on their project.
Good morning, everyone. So nice to see so many familiar faces doing this important work. We so truly appreciate what you're doing to maintain the health of our region. Also want to say a special hi to Patrick Kennedy's cute little puppy that has popped up in the video and has made the last couple of minutes really fun for me. I'd like to start by saying thank you to you all for the opportunity to have received these grant funds. I'd like to specifically acknowledge your staff that has made this possible. We certainly understand the constrained resources that are occurring across the board, and so the ability to have brought this forward and make it possible for our community to benefit is a big deal. I'd also like to acknowledge the folks on my staff who have been involved in this project, our Director of Advocacy, Jameson Parker, our Associate Director of Placemaking, Amy Eubank, and then our Clean and Safe Manager, Luis Villa. As many of you know, and as you heard in the presentation, Midtown Association is a property-based improvement district. We're focused on making Midtown the center for culture, creativity, and vibrancy in Sacramento's urban core. Over 50% of our budget is dedicated to providing safety and maintenance services, which includes outreach to those that are experiencing homelessness and the attempted connection to service, graffiti and sticker removal, power washing, managing issues in alleyways, all the things that make our public space welcoming. In addition, we offer projects and programs under our placemaking, capital improvements, and mobility department, such as Wi-Fi hotspots, park activation, events, temporary wayfinding, lighting, murals, again, all the things that make our urban core a special place. We also oversee our Midtown Farmers Market and the Wednesdays at Wynn, as well as additional events and activities. The reason that this funding has dovetailed so nicely into our service structure is that in 2021, our organization identified and adopted strategies that fall under the umbrella of social responsibility, which included a carbon reduction plan. So the ability to apply for these funds to replace gas using equipment in our Clean and Safe program that is patrolling the district with EVs is a big deal for us. We also have been able to look at different streetlights that are in Midtown that provide a sense of welcoming late in the evening for our community and be able to switch those over to a more responsible lighting source. As well as we have a generator that has been gas powered that sits out at those farmers markets to make it possible to bring entertainment and food trucks forward. And through this program, we've been able to switch over to a solar powered generator. This is just the start of our efforts. We know that you all have been in this work for a long time. We're here to be a partner and an ally in the work that you're doing, and want to say thank you again for the opportunity.
We also have a short video from Sacramento 350. They were unable to join us today, but I believe, Madam Clerk, we're having some technical difficulties. Is that correct?
That is correct. It's playing on my side, but it's coming up really low. So we can give it a shot and see if you guys can hear it, or if you want to just describe the video.
Yeah, the video it was included in your board packet. It just goes over some images from their outreach events and then just kind of highlights the project. So it is in the board packet if you'd like to watch that. But for now, I would just be happy to overturn it to the board if you have any other questions.
All right, I'm not seeing any board members' hands raised. Oh, Director Harris.
Yeah, just a comment to the board. You know, I see a common theme in all of these presentations, which is how underfunded our staff are for all of these programs. This is a can we've been kicking down the road for years now, and it's going to catch up with us. I think that we really have to be more mindful as a board to figure out this problem. Dr. Ayala brings it up every year. Frankly, you know, our air district is very valuable to us for all the reasons that were demonstrated here today. And we really have to work on this funding problem. It's not going away, it's getting worse. And if we want to have these valuable programs, we're going to have to find a way to pay for it. We've wrung our staff pretty dry. They've given, more than 100% for a long time. And that's just my 2 cents. I would certainly be willing to consider a per capita fee. We've got to come up with some funding mechanism to make this air district viable, to do the work that we need them to do, to get to attainment, to deal with PM 2.5. So that's my soapbox for the day, folks.
Thank you, Director Harris. Was there anybody else that wanted to speak?
This is Director Kennedy. I'll just say that I've never seen Dr. Ayala more emphatically shake his, nod his head than to Mr. Harris's comments. But I'm in agreement with Director Harris, and we've had others that try to look at our programs and have tried to funnel money out of the district when, this is the leanest agency in the county just about. And it's just going to get worse with the unfunded mandates that are coming down. So I just wanted to chime in and say I wholeheartedly agree with Director Harris.
Thank you. So the next item on the calendar was the board ideas, comments, and AB 1234 reports. Is there any board members needing to report? No? Okay. There is no public comment at this moment. So Vice Chair Kennedy, I'll go ahead and hand it back over to you.
All right. With that then, if there's no comments, then we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody, for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.